Hi everyone, welcome to another Tools and Resources video. Today we're going to talk about how to fund your account on Questrade. There are really two different ways that you can fund your account. The first is using new money from your bank account. So you've got cash sitting in a checking or savings account. This is going to be applicable to pretty much everyone going forward. This is how you're going to be adding new money to your account whenever you want to put a little bit more into the market. This is really straightforward, pretty simple. The second method for funding your account is to transfer things from an existing account. So if you have an RSP or a TFSA at another institution, and you want to move everything over into this new strategy, this is the part that's going to apply to you. Not everyone is going to have that, and this is a little bit more intense. So for those of you who aren't transferring, you can always just watch the first part of the video. So in terms of using new money from a bank account, when you click that sort of fund button on Questrade, you're going to see all these different options here. Instant deposit, it's a nice feature, but it's kind of annoying. It's only for if people have like a prepaid Visa card. So that's not most people. What most people are going to be using is this bill payment. That this is, in my mind, the easiest and most straightforward way of doing it. You can set up pre-authorized deposits if you want a certain amount to go in to your account every month. That said, just be careful when it comes to RSP and TFSA limits. If you're sort of near your contribution limit, these pre-authorized deposits can get you into trouble if you have it set up and you end up going over your limit. So really for me, my preferred method is the bill payment. That's what I really like doing for most people. So the way we do this is we start by logging into your online bank. Now, everyone has a different online bank. There are a bunch of different ones, so I'm not going to do screenshots for this because I just don't know, I can't create a video that's going to look the same for everyone. So what you want to do is log into your online bank account. From there, you're going to go into your bill payments section of your online bank. So this is where you pay your credit card, or if you pay your hydro bill, things like that. It's going to be inside this bill payments. From there, you're going to want to do a new payee. So you click new payee, and then you're going to go in there. You're going to add Questrade as a bill payee. Now, sometimes it'll show up just as Questrade. In some banks, it's Questrade Inc. In some online banks, it's Questrade Online Broker. So any of those three, it might show up as those. Just don't do, there's one that's like Questrade Foreign Exchange. You don't want to use that one. Just use like Questrade or Questrade Inc. or Questrade Online Broker. You're going to select that as your sort of who you're going to pay the bill to. From there, you're going to have your Questrade account open in a different browser, and you're going to want to copy and paste your account number. So be really careful about this. This is the place where if you're going to make a mistake, it's in entering that account number. We want to be really, really specific about the account that we're sending it to, so that you're not just sort of sending money into the void. From there, I really suggest adding a nickname on your online bank to this bill payee. Oftentimes it'll just show up as like Questrade and then the account number, which is sort of a super random number. And especially if you have an RSP and a TFSA, it's really, really helpful to add a nickname, and you can just call it Questrade TFSA, Questrade RRSP, Questrade RESP if you've got one of those. That way it's going to be super clear which account you're putting money into. From there, really what I like doing is sending a test payment to verify the connection. So before you transfer over, thousands and thousands of dollars, start by sending maybe $10 or $20, just to do it as a little test, just to make sure that it's set up properly. It is going to take about a business day or two, sort of 1 or 2 days for that payment to go through. Once you've logged into Questrade and you can see that, hey, that $10 or that $20 has arrived, that's when you can feel confident that you set up the bill payment correctly, and you can transfer over, thousands of dollars at a time if that's how much you want to invest. So really straightforward in terms of adding new money. This is how you're going to be adding money on a go forward basis, is just to, basically pay a bill to your Questrade account. Very, very simple and straightforward. When it comes to transferring an existing account, this one's a little trickier. So I do have screenshots for this. We're going to do everything through Questrade. So you're going to log in your Questrade account. You're going to hover over this little funding tab at the top. And when you hover over that, you're going to see transfer account to Questrade. So you can click on that. From there, what we do is this screen pops up. They have a nifty little user interface here. So notice that, just tell us your banking details and we'll take care of the rest. We'll even cover the transfer fees up to $150 per account. So if you are moving an RSP or a TFSA from somewhere else, oftentimes your financial institution will charge you what we call a transfer out fee, anywhere from $50 to $150. Questrade will cover that for you. So what you want to do is make sure that you get a receipt. And if you get a receipt for that transfer out fee, you can submit that to Questrade. They do need to verify that, hey, you paid this amount, and then they'll actually cover that for you. So they'll add that cash to your account. So, make sure that you are getting that receipt of that transfer out fee and submitting it to Questrade to get those fees covered for you. So we're going to click this green Start Request button. Once we click on that, then we're going to say, which account, Questrade account are you transferring to? Here's where you can select your RSP or your TFSA or, whatever account it is that you're transferring. Just keep in mind that, we really want to make sure we're going from RSP to RSP and TFSA to TFSA. So, you're going to have to do one of these forms for each account. So, start with one and make it very clear which one you're going to transfer. Because when we go to the next page, this is going to be your banking details. So this is your existing account that you're trying to transfer. We want to make sure that when we enter in this account number, that again, if you selected TFSA before, we want to make sure that the account number you're putting in here is your TFSA at the existing institution. So you can choose your financial institution in the drop-down menu. Sometimes, for people who are part of a credit union, if it's not listed in here, a bunch of them are, the bigger credit unions are in here. But if you're with a smaller union, if you're in Ontario, it might be Credit Union Central of Ontario, or I think there might be one for British Columbia as well. These are like the umbrella organizations. So don't get stuck there. You might just have to pick the umbrella organization if your specific credit union is not listed here. From there, we're going to do your account number. Again, this is your account number at the institution that you're transferring out from. Your country will be Canada. This is going to be the branch address. So whatever your financial institution is, you just want to put in the branch details here. If you don't know it off the top of your head, you can always download a recent statement from your online bank account, right? And that'll have all the address. You can also do like a Google search and find your branch to be able to get the name, the street name, the postal code, etc. From there, if you do have a person that you've been dealing with, it's not a bad idea to put in their name, phone number, email address here. If it's someone you've never really dealt with, like maybe they just sold you a mutual fund once, if you've never heard from them again, you don't have to put their contact information in here. But if there is someone that you've been dealing with, an advisor or whatever, then not a bad idea to put their information in here. Basically, what we're doing is we're authorizing Questrade to request the transfer from that institution. So Questrade is kind of going to be breaking up with them for us. So, you don't have to give them a heads up. You can just submit this form. But hey, not a bad idea for you to give a little courtesy email. Just, let them know that you've decided to go with the self-directed approach and that they should expect a transfer request form. From there, once you filled out all this information, they're going to ask you how you want to transfer your assets. So there are a few different ways that you can do it. My preference is to do it all in cash. This is the easiest way, the simplest way. It's kind of no muss, no fuss. We're basically giving instructions to your financial institution to liquidate all of your securities. So to sell your mutual funds, to sell all your investments, whatever they are, and then they're going to transfer your fund into your Questrade account so that when it arrives, it shows up as cash, which is definitely going to be the easiest way to do it. If you do own, stocks or ETFs or something in there that, you want to keep as is, you can transfer all in kind. This is going to transfer it sort of as is. The problem here is that sometimes this gets caught, especially with mutual funds. If you're with like a Tangerine or somewhere else that has these branded mutual funds, Questrade can't always hold those mutual funds. So if you request a transfer and then they can't hold it, the transfer actually gets denied. right? And then you have to do this whole thing all over again. So that's why I really like doing the all in cash. Strong preference here. Partial transfers if you only want to move part of your account, but then you are going to have to specify, what things you want to transfer. So how much cash, or, which securities you do want them to transfer. So again, this can be a little bit tricky. Things can get held up. My preference is to do the all in cash. Once we've done that, they want to have a rough idea of the estimated value. You don't need an exact number here. You can just do ballpark. Notice that if you're going to do pennies, just put them in this box over here. Most of us are going to be transferring things in Canadian dollar currency, so you can click on that and click next. From there, really straightforward. You're going to review all the information, give it a quick once over to make sure it looks good. You're going to confirm and sign. And then you're going to play the waiting game. Basically, these account transfers, they take a really long time here in Canada. Often it's sort of 6 to 8 weeks. It's been a little bit faster more recently. Sometimes I get it in sort of 3 or 4 weeks, but really I wouldn't be concerned if it does take up to sort of 6 or 8 weeks for this transfer to go through before things do show up in Questrade. If you want to check in on it, if you get a little bit nervous, you can always log into your Questrade and then, go again to this like funding, hover over funding, and then click transfer account to Questrade. And there is a little tab here that's your request history. So you can kind of throw in your date range, for when you made the request. And oftentimes it'll say like pending. And if it's pending, then obviously it's the wheels are still in motion. And then, it's really only if there is a problem where it gets like canceled or rejected, that's when it's like, hey, what went wrong? You might want to contact Questrade's customer service, use the chat feature just to say, hey, I submitted a transfer request. Not sure what happened there. But, not a bad idea to check this page before you do make any further inquiries. That's it. Really straightforward. Really it's kind of a pain to do this paperwork to transfer, but you only ever have to do this once. From there, just a little bit of patience is required. And then once the money shows up in Questrade, that's when you're ready to take the next step and actually invest your money using passive. Hope this has been a helpful video for you.